There's more value to the classic old school walking lunge than meets the eye, which to me makes it one of the most underrated exercises out there. It's easily overlooked because there's so many exciting or scientific exercises out there these days. But I enjoy exercises I can do with no setup. And you can do lunges anywhere. You can do them outside, in a small room, or in a gym. So this is how to get conditioned legs and a more athletic body with walking lunges.
The lunge works every muscle group in your lower body: quads, hamstrings, and glutes. And because it's asymmetrical, you have to use your core and the outside and insides of the hip to stabilize the movement. And most athletics and sports put you in some variation of a lunge. But most people do lunges like a robot. You can make it even more functional by integrating the arms.
The magic of the lunge is it's essentially an exaggerated walking pattern. You take a bigger step and dip your hips down low. And just like in walking, how the torso and arms swing and rotate, you can really accentuate and exaggerate that in your walking lunge. And this can undo a lot of the rigidity that comes from more conventional exercise like squats and deadlifts. Now at the bottom of the lunge, we want the knee getting over the toes because this is a more naturally powerful position to move out of. And we always want to have the feet facing forward, especially that back foot. Sometimes as you go down, you may notice it'll want to spin out, but getting that foot facing forward will help open up this back hip. But don't overthink it. The beauty of the lunge is if you just sink your hips down while you're walking, you're gonna get what you need from it. Something that lunges do that almost no other leg exercise does is it trains deceleration. Think about it like this: when you run or you jump, it's not just about the explosion that propels you forward or upward, but also the absorption of impact on the other side, which happens to be where most injuries occur. So the walking lunge is a great way to train your legs to become more resilient, especially the knees. Coincidentally, this type of loading, eccentric loading, where the muscles are contracted but getting longer, happens to be where most muscle growth occurs. And the asymmetrical loading in the lunge forces the stabilizing muscles of the hips and the core to become stronger and more coordinated, ultimately leading to more force production and reduced risk of injury. Sometimes we get hyper-focused on leg strength and forget that lower body conditioning is equally important. Last year, I went on an epic mountaineering journey with a buddy of mine where we traversed 5 peaks in the Rocky Mountains. But embarrassingly, I couldn't keep up with my buddy who does cycling. My legs were on fire the whole 14 hours. So at the end of every lower body strength training session, I would do one long set of lunges to failure. It absolutely changed my lower body endurance and stability. Now when I do long uphill hikes or do a lot of jumping or acrobatics, my lower body conditioning is never a factor. Now, once you can do hundreds of walking lunges without stopping, it may be time to add a little weight. Now, I prefer a weight vest because it still allows for that natural swinging of the arms and torso, but just taking some dumbbells and holding them by the side works just as well. Now be aware, you're gonna get a really big quad pump after doing long sets of lunges, so a little bit of quad stretching can go a long way.
So here's the call to action. If you want to create strong, well-conditioned legs without using the gym, try out this minimalist leg training program. Start with 3 sets of 10 squats. As we just talked about in the Bulletproof Knee video, toe squats are phenomenal for deep knee bends while also getting the feet and ankles engaged. But you can always use a slant board for a slight regression. Or to push yourself to a more advanced level, do single leg squats and take it down to 5 reps. But now here comes the lunges. Do 1 set of walking lunges to failure. Be ready for the quads and glutes to really burn. Your total reps should slowly increase each week that passes. I started with being able to do around 50, and by the end of this, I could do closer to 250. Finish with 10 minutes of jump rope. The simplest session is 60 seconds on, 30 seconds off. I lay out a couple other sessions and just why jump rope is so dope in general. Check that video description box below. The best way to see results is to commit to something that you can do consistently. You'll never have an excuse to not do your lunges. You could even take on the challenge of doing them every day for 30 days, or maybe more sensibly, every other day. Squat, lunge, jump, as always.